Closing out the year in true 2020 fashion, the promised weather blankets Iowa in ice and snow. To kick off the new year, Mike Reed makes a long trip to his southern Iowa farm. With another winter storm on its way, anticipation is high.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone. January 1st, 2021. Chase and I we've made the drive, the 2.5-hour drive down to a little farm that I have in far southern Iowa. It's about 50 acres, this piece. And I've got a couple of acres of standing corn. I've put some cell cameras out here. Earlier in the year, we did one hunt out here. And we've got a couple really good bucks. I got a new buck that showed up this last couple days ago, which is a great looking deer. And then that deer that we talked about early in the year was just a real heavy 6x6 with some extra points. So 2 really cool deer. We'll see if one of them shows up tonight. We're in the redneck. We've got a strong north wind. Fingers crossed this blind sets up awesome for late season. I mean, this little field butts up against a huge tract of timber. And so it just sets up really, really well for this. If you got the food, this kind of weather, really harsh weather. It's like 25 degrees right now with a wind chill of around 12 to 14. So having food this time of year is really key. And we're looking forward to the sit. I feel like it's not late in the 60s. Grass aren't super long, but he's got good dews and trees and good beans. I don't want to mess with the windows. He looks good right there.
The good 10-pointer makes his way into range, but it's not Mike's target. As the snow continues to fall, 61 miles to the north, Jared Mills is also out hunting, back after the Big Ten.
Alright, it's January 1st. Happy New Year to everyone. Connor and I are out here for an afternoon hunt. We got a little bit of a nasty winter storm rolling through right now. It's dropping snow, and right now it's actually dropping a bunch of ice where we're at. But we decided to come after the Big Ten tonight. I've talked about it before, but this deer's so hard to hunt, and we're kind of at the point in the season we're going to pull out all the stops. We're in this little homemade blind right now, and I don't expect to actually get a shot at him from here, but I'm hoping to at least lay eyes on him. And I brought the ghillie suit with me to where if we do see him out in the prairie, I can potentially make a move on him while Connor filmed from here. We really don't have many other options with this deer. You know, the way this sets up, there's great food. There's more food than you could ask for. Beans, sorghum, corn. But the way the food plot's set up is there's all this cover around them, and it's, you know, a little bit higher than head height on the deer. So the deer can enter these plots at any point, 360 degrees around these fields. And most of the time you can't even see them unless we're elevated like we are tonight. That's part of the reason we got up in this little homemade blind. I'm hoping, my goal is just to lay eyes on him tonight and maybe see which direction he's coming from and set up somewhere. But who knows, maybe we'll get lucky, see him, and be able to make a move on him.
Here, we're gonna have to do something right here. You want me free-handed? You want your back up? Oh no, you're probably gonna have to film right there. We're going left now. Going left towards the home.
see him in the middle of all those other deer. He did a big circle. He had to have been really close to Connor. I cannot believe that. I saw him cross that waterway. That we were sitting in that blind. That's unbelievable.
Back in Mike's field, the deer are continuing to pour out of the hardwoods.
That seems kind of crazy not to shoot him, but would you see more? I'd like to kill him. I just saw that 8. I see there's 2 doves right here now. Man, this is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. It is dumping snow. Like, my footage looks blown out because of how hard it's snowing. There's a buck that just came out, like down underneath the stand. Yeah, it's that split G2 buck. I don't even know where that 10 came from. Like we just looked out the plot and he was out. He was walking up in that. God, we see the back of that other deer coming out. Yeah, coming out that bottom of the little swell. There's so many deer. It's one in the fence gap, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, baby. I recognized him with his head down. It looked like him. He's got split brows and all that sort of good stuff. We drive over here. Here's the giant. Oh, let's drive here. There's the giant. That's why you can't trust cameras. Because he's up moving around at 4:30. I haven't seen a single deer walking by any of the cameras. There's 50 deer out here. You know what I mean? Yeah. When he put his beam down, way back there, I can see that fat beam. I mean, there's 270. Those triple barrels probably give it away too. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Let's walk up to it. There. All right. It's gonna go down right there. I see blood coming out of him. Huh? I see blood. Yeah, I got him good. Alright, he's still standing on the edge of the block. Is he? Yeah, he's going down right there. There he goes. He went down? He's wavering. Hold on. How did he walk that off? He just went off where I can't see him. did I hit him? I saw blood right on his shoulder, I thought. Well, that's a deer that I came in here hoping to see. You know, we drove 2.5 hours. He hasn't been on camera since December 14th or so. I've got history with him. He's been on this farm in previous years. This year he made a nice jump. He's a mainframe 6x6, real heavy, split brows, kickers. I mean, just a giant of a deer. We had that really nice 10 come out that I got pictures of a few days ago. He looks like a high 150s, 160 type class deer. But there's two bigger ones. And I thought I didn't want to burn my muzzleloader tag on that deer just yet. And lo and behold, even though I had a low confidence in this buck showing up tonight, we spotted him come out of that big timber. And he took a while to jump the fence and come in, but he ended up coming all the way in to about 130 yards. I waited till he turned broadside, and it looked like I made a good shot on him. He ran over to the edge of the timber over there, and he seemed to want to go down, but it looked like he made it down into the timber. So we're going to get packed up and go get the Kubota and come back in here and check out the blood trail. I'm pumped.
We've got great blood from the point of impact all the way across the field to where we saw him stand. This is where he dived down into the timber. Can't imagine he made it in here very far. Stand right there. I'm getting a little bit worried. You see him right there?
I don't see him yet.
He's down in that ditch.
Well, what an awesome way to bring in the new year. This was my target buck for late season this year, and my primary goal was to get the wife and kids their deer, and we were able to do that over Christmas break, as you guys saw. Now, I was talking with my wife last night about getting out. She said the weather's too cruddy, why don't you go? And so Chase and I made the move on this deer. And I was a little worried he got shot during second shotgun just because he wasn't showing up. But, you know, you never know. It's a perfect example of how the cameras don't tell everything. I've got 4 cameras on the corners of this 3-acre food plot. And, you know, I get pictures from it, obviously, but there's plenty of deer. Like last night, we had 50 deer out there, and most of them were avoiding the cameras. The real story, though, is the size of this farm. I mean, it's 52 acres, and I bought it as an additional place to hunt. It's only like a half a mile away from my old cabin farm that I sold. Ended up selling that farm to buy this farm, our home farm, where we're out taking pictures today, but I kept the little piece that was next to it just because I love the way it's set up for late season to give me an additional late season option. And it is just in the heart of thousands of acres of big timber, which is fairly rare to find in Iowa. Lots and lots of deer and lots of great bucks. And like I said, it doesn't set up super well for rut hunting, but it's just a gold mine for late season, and works to a T. You know, I left 3 acres of standing corn, and that gives you a great opportunity to capitalize on some of these bucks that you wouldn't really otherwise have a chance to hunt. As always, we really appreciate you guys. You know, 2020 has been hard on a lot of us, both at work and at home and school and everything else. And hunting's always been a release for me. I mean, I call it tree therapy. I love getting out and spending time in nature, and it's just something that kind of resets things and helps center your mind and brings some peace, so to speak. And you know, we love capturing all this on video and bringing it to you guys, and we just really appreciate the support.
The winter storm of New Year's Day was full of peaks and valleys. Mike went home with an incredible trophy, and while Jared left his hunt empty-handed, he did gain critical insight. This time of the year, bucks are more predictable, typically bedding in the same area day to day. Going all in, the evening of January 3rd finds Jared back on the farm, once again pursuing the Big Ten.
January 3rd, and Connor and I are getting aggressive on the Big Ten again. We were in here 2 nights ago, and we had a good encounter with him, got close. But when he came down, he came out in front of this big brush pile, some big mound of trees and grasses. And with the south wind, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to try to sneak in and set up in here. You can't hang in any of these trees. I've talked about the challenges of hunting this property before. So we both put on ghillie suits and just brushed ourselves in here. Hopefully we can get away with it. I don't know. We don't feel that hidden, but hopefully he'll come out by himself or not with too many deer. There's been a lot of does coming and hanging around this end. So we'll see. We did see one deer moving up in the CRP a little bit. Everything's super icy, so we were really noisy getting in. You just crunch through the ice and it's not that windy. So hopefully we didn't do too much damage. That deer's not far away, so that's a good sign. It's probably 3 o'clock now. It took forever to get in. We had to cross a creek. So we don't have a whole lot of daylight left, but hopefully deer start moving and we can lay our eyes on them again.
my god. We just did it. What just happened? Dude. I'm in absolute shock. Dude. I don't even know what to say. I mean, look at him laying right there. That deer. Dude. Oh man. That deer has had my number. That deer. Oh my gosh. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. That deer has had my number so many times. 2 straight years of unbelievable encounters. And I said over and over again, this property is so hard to hunt, and I wanted to kill him with a bow. Obviously didn't want to do it any other way. But we had to. We were pulling out all the stops. You can see Connor and I both in ghillie suits, and just we came into this brush pile and just tucked ourselves in. Didn't actually, probably deep down didn't believe it was actually gonna work, but that's unbelievable deer. Unbelievable story. What? That is, oh my gosh, that's epic. Like,
I mean, the amount of encounters in the last 2 years, and for us to kill him here.
25 yards on the ground. Dude.
I mean, come on.
Well, here's where I shot him. You can see the brush pile we were in. 25 yards. The arrow's laying right there on top of the snow. Instant blood sprayed all over the top of the snow, but these are the fun ones where you don't have to even worry about tracking. I'm just gonna go get my hands on them. It's been a long time coming. I'm not sure there's a better sight than that right there. Man, there he is. Well, here he is, the Big 10. Big thanks to Connor, who grinded it out all season long. This is the deer that he wanted us to kill. So it was pretty cool that he was able to be here and film it. And big thanks to the landowner who allows me to help out managing the properties and to hunt deer like this. So this deer has had my number. I've said that 1,000 times, but there's no other way to put it. The chase for this deer was second to none. It challenged me in a lot of different ways from a bow hunting standpoint. It forced me, this property and this deer forced me to hunt a lot different than I ever had before, and for that I'm thankful. I mean, I learned so much chasing this deer. He was always one step ahead of me. He always made the right move, and I'm just so used to getting beat by this deer that truly we'd come in here just because we know we had to spend time in here to kill him, but we always just felt like our odds were so low. It was always stacked against us, and to get it done, it was just crazy. Tonight's hunt was unbelievable. That brush pile worked to perfection somehow. We got past all those other deer. We had pheasants flying in our lap. I mean, I looked over at Connor when we had deer in front of us. I was like, this is unbelievable. This is, to be on the ground that close to the deer was a really cool experience, and to have him come in by himself and not with all those other deer, I don't know if I would have gotten drawn if all those other deer were with him. So everything was finally worked out in our favor. And like I said, I learned so much chasing this deer. Just a fun journey, and that, for me, that's what it's all about. Really cool. It's hard to put into words how fun this journey has been with this deer. It's a little bittersweet, obviously, as it always is, but man, it just doesn't get any better than this. I've said before, but that's why I love doing this. I love bow hunting. I love the challenge of chasing specific deer. It can make for a really long season, and that's kind of what this year was for me. Nonetheless, I knew I wanted him more than any other buck that I had on my list. Incredible deer, incredible hunt for him the last 2 years, and man, it's one I won't forget for sure.
Hunting's always been a release for me. I mean, I call it tree therapy. I love getting out and spending time in nature, and it's just something that kind of resets things and helps center your mind and brings some peace, so to speak. And you know, we love capturing all this on video and bringing it to you guys, and we just really appreciate the support.
Despite the odds being stacked against him, Jared Mills finally ended the quest for the Big Ten. He called checkmate, and the game is now over. Nobody could have predicted that it would culminate in this fashion, but then again, we're not surprised. A true example of determination and grit, Jared sets the bar high for what it means to capture the full story. Mike Reed's plan too worked to perfection. 4 bucks in a week is unprecedented, a true dream season for him and his family. All too often this time of the year feels like the bitter end as the final bell toll nears closer and closer, but this year is different. The last week of action is some of the best we've ever experienced, and it fuels the rest of us with hope. Though the forecast says bitter cold awaits us, those with tags will be out there, trying to secure our chance at glory. All that remains is 1 full week, then the long cold wait begins. The long wait from we will someday be chasing November.